the marquee number here, without any doubt, is frankly not the deficit, but the amount of interest payment on the debt, which ballooned to $950 billion. That is, I'll be interested to see how that compares as a percentage of GDP. It may have set a new record, but it's right around a record when you look at it as a percentage of the economy. And as a percentage, just comparing it to other expenditures of the federal budget, as a preliminary look here, looks like it has climbed into second place as the biggest expense behind Social Security. And that's really saying something. I mean, the preliminary report here from CBO had $950 billion for interest, $869 billion for Medicare, and $826 billion for defense. So, behind Social Security, those are certainly the big three, but interest really becoming a dominating factor, Steve.
Oh, yeah, clearly. I mean, of course, Social Security does have a big lead coming in at almost $1.5 trillion. So it may still be a while before interest catches up with Social Security. But on our current path, it looks like it eventually could get there, if not very, very close. So,
yeah. And the thing about interest is interest and Medicare is that they grow on autopilot. And there are factors that are pushing both of them higher, whereas defense is a discretionary program. That is, it does go through the annual appropriations process. And so the Congress maintains some further control over it. Medicare growing with the aging of the population and rising interest costs, rising healthcare costs. And of course, interest, you're at the mercy of market forces, plus the accumulated debt. So two things are driving the interest cost: the accumulation of more debt and higher borrowing, plus the interest that you need to pay on that debt. And they're both factors, but the higher interest was certainly a factor that could be a driving force for interest going forward.
Well, yeah, I mean, clearly, you go back, 4 or 5 years, and interest rates were exceedingly low for quite a long period of time. And the government was borrowing, the average interest rate was, around 1 or 2%. And now, of course, as because of the inflation and the Fed's efforts to try to contain inflation, interest rates have come back up. And, they're now the 10-year bond, 10-year Treasury bond is about 4%. And, you go with a 20 to $30 trillion national debt, whether you're talking about the publicly held debt, I guess that's closer to 26 trillion. So every 1 percentage point increase in interest rates gets you an extra $260 billion in interest. So, if interest rates settle in at 4%, that's going to be painful. But were interest rates to rise higher, you're going to see interest rates or the cost of paying interest on the debt to, go up dramatically.